मेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवमश्च श्रीरूपं सग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितमश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Very nice. Not too many people have joined, so uh, hoping, I don't know whether Sunita Mataji and others will be joining soon. Not clear.
I think
Should we get
Madhuri is traveling, Prabhuji.
Who is traveling?
She was driving, Sunita Mataji, but
Okay.
yeah, we can get started, Prabhuji. Maybe devotees may join a little later.
Okay, all right. So I was going to start with same way that Aswati Mataji started yesterday, and continue reading from this uh, Vedanta manner summaries of the Bhagavad Gita, and these summaries are very good, and they just give the gist of what is going on. So I think we'll do it the same way. Uh, so today's first 13th chapter is nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. So I'll start by reading this. The final six chapters focus on jnana, transcendental wisdom, which helps one become detached from materialistic aspirations and simultaneously attached to Krishna. Chapter 13 covers topics previously discussed but explores them in a more analytical way. Thus, wise readers can take advantage of the logical presentation made by Krishna to strengthen their conviction and deepen their understanding. So it's a transition from the previous 12 chapters we read. Now it's more analytical, philosophical discussions till the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we completed the Bhakti Yoga section, but the Bhakti part of it will always be there. We'll always find it in different outputs. So the acronym for this 13th chapter is wise, wise questions, items of knowledge, soul and super soul, and joy. Okay, I'll start reading the wise part. Wise questions. So these are from verses 1 to 7. Arjuna asked Krishna to define 6 subjects: Prakriti, nature; Purusha, the enjoyer; Kshetra, the field of activities; Kshetrajna, the knower of the field; Jnanam, knowledge, and Jnanam, knowledge and the process of knowing; and Nayam, the object of knowledge. These subjects are key constituents of Vedic philosophy, and Krishna therefore spends the entire chapter defining and discussing them. Arjuna, although an established transcendentalist, plays the part of a materially entangled individual so he can pose questions for the benefit of humanity. His astute inquiries create the opportunity for Krishna to offer answers to life's most profound mysteries. Krishna begins by defining Kshetra and Kshetrajna. So this is quite self-explanatory. Uh, it's Arjuna in the very first verse, he asks 6 questions about Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, and Nayam. So uh, uh, Prakriti is nature, material nature, Purusha is the enjoyer, Kshetra is the field of activities, and Kshetrajna is the knower of the field. Jnanam is the knowledge and the process of knowing, and Nayam is the object of knowledge. So this forms the basis for this particular chapter, and it's very important because to know these terms and understand them, uh, Arjuna is asking this on our behalf. He really doesn't need to know all this, but he's asking in our behalf. So let's see. Uh, who would like to read the items of knowledge? There are only 4 of us, so uh, anyone? Vasudev Mataji, you want to do this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhuji. Items of knowledge, verses 8 to 12. These verses describe how the Kshetragya, spiritual soul, can disentangle himself from the Kshetra, body, by cultivating jnana. Since true knowledge is revealed within the heart of a deserving person, the real method of acquiring knowledge is the cultivation of divine qualities, of which humility is foremost. Knowledge is not about information and memorization, but rather about exemplary personal character and practical behavior. One who nurtures a saintly disposition experiences a change of heart which disentangles the eternal soul from its deep rooted identification with the body, its temporary dress. So, here in this verse 8 to 12 of chapter 13, Krishna is giving the knowledge to Arjuna because Arjuna asks 6 questions as we read in the first paragraph, and Krishna also here says that disentangle himself from the Kshetra body. So the jnana is that we are the spirit soul, we are not the body. So when we have this bodily conception, all those requirements, all those material happiness we are looking for when we think about we are the body. So we need all those needs. But a jnani, who is really a jnani, a knowledgeable person, they are called also sthita pragya. See, they don't care about anything material. They know that we are the soul, not the body. So that is the knowledge. And when someone already received that knowledge from Krishna with his mercy, Krishna gave him that intelligence, and therefore with that knowledge that person become an exemplary character person. So their character is always one is the behavior, one of the most important behavior is humility. So this humility is very important in Krishna consciousness. So devotee is actually, Krishna's devotee is paradukha dukhi, parashukha shukhi. So paraduk means what? The paraduk means in this material suffering. When a person suffer in this material existence, but thinking that I'm very happy in this jail. So for them, the devotees are very passionate. They want to give them Krishna consciousness. What about the, like Prabhupada, when he came to this America, United States, he first came across with the people who are not, who their lifestyle, their behavior was not proper. So, but with the mercy of Prabhupada, with the mercy of the pure devotee, Prabhupada, they all become Krishna conscious and they become a devotee. So they left everything, their house, their friends, their culture, and became the great devotees of Srila Prabhupada. So all our Guru Maharajas, most of our Guru Maharajas in ISKCON, they left everything and come to this Krishna consciousness movement and giving us the real knowledge. And the knowledge is soul, we are the soul, not the body. And Krishna is our Supreme Lord. So that's the saintly disposition a devotee should have. Their quality will say, their mood always to serve Krishna, and not our body, but Krishna, to Krishna. Back to Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
You, Mataji, you added everything, so I don't have to say anything about this. uh, okay, so we can go on to this S part, soul. So, Ruby Mataji, your
Yes,
turn.
yes. Sure, Prabhuji. Yes, soul and supreme soul, verse 13 to 19, having described the Khetra, Khetragya, and Jnanam. So Krishna now describes Gayam, the object of knowledge. The purpose of knowledge is to realize the soul and the super soul, who are eternally individual but the same time intimately connected. It is the prerogative of the soul to understand the super soul, but the super soul is sometimes described as abhigayam or unknowable. How to recognize this? Empirical researchers who try to fathom the supreme using mundane logic and material sense perception are invariable mm, baffled, and the super soul within remains unknowable to them. However, those who approach the subject matter with the proper attitude, ready and willing to gain insight through the eyes of great teachers, can surely realize the super soul, the object of all knowledge. So here it is mentioned like Khetra, Khetragya, and Jnanam. Khetra means the field, like the field. Jnana is the knowledge, and Khetragya, uh, Jnana, and Gayam. Gayam means the knowable. Yeah. So the object of the knowledge, the knowable. So here it is mentioned, and the purpose of this knowledge is to realize what is soul and what is super soul. We are not the body, we are the soul, and super soul is the Paramatma who is residing in every living being's heart. So uh, who can it can be understandable only through the bhakti, through the devotional service. So and uh, here also it is in the last part, it is mentioned like this subject matter is very difficult to understand alone, so we should approach a proper bona fide guru. So with the help of guru we can understand it properly. What is the uh, means what is super soul, what is soul, and what is our purpose, what is our goal. This purpose of the knowledge is only known to Krishna, because this knowledge is only know and understand to Krishna. So yes, Prabhuji, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. You explained it all very nicely. So, Kshetra, it's the field and also it's the body. So it's our body, and Kshetrajna is the spirit soul. Uh, it can also be the super soul, uh, because the soul is the one that knows its own body, but the super soul knows not just knows the bodies of all the living entities. So uh, he's everywhere, so he knows all the bodies. He's there situated. Now, the name is the object of the knowledge, and the object of the knowledge is the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord. Krishna is the object of the knowledge. Will be saying that. Uh, so, uh, but knowing what is the knowledge, the real knowledge is knowing the distinction between the body and the soul and understanding the super soul. This is, like you said, it doesn't come by empirical means. It doesn't come uh, by scientific reasoning. It cannot be done that way. It only comes through bhakti, and because we are covered by Maya, we cannot understand that. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Uh, Subhal Prabhu, you'd like to read the E part? Is it there?
Hare Krishna. E Prabhuji?
E, yeah.
Yeah. Rama, can you read E? Enjoyer.
Enjoyer, verses 20 to 35. The chapter concludes with the descriptions of the final two terms, Prakriti and Purusha. The conditioned soul desires to control and enjoy matter, Prakriti, and it is this enjoying spirit that binds him to the material world. The super soul, however, is the actual enjoyer, Purusha, and everything material nature and the individual souls is ultimately meant for his enjoyment. Just as pouring water over the root of the tree energizes the trunk, branches, and twigs, similarly offering worship and service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for His pleasure and satisfaction automatically brings satisfaction to all living entities, including ourselves. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So one of you has to add something to this. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you want to add something to this?
In this I learned that um the conditioned soul wants to control and enjoy matter, like which is prakriti, but it is actually that this the spirit of you wanting to enjoy is what is keeping us in the material world. But in the material world we should do everything to serve Krishna because this is his world and we are meant for his enjoyment. Because they use the example as pouring water over the root of a tree strengthens everything. Just like that, we have to offer service to our to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and like it will strengthen our connection. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Well summarized. So Prakriti, the material nature, Purusha is the living entity, is the enjoyer, but the true enjoyer is Krishna. So it is our duty to rise above this because we are bound by the three modes of material nature. We'll be reading that in the next section. Uh, we are tied to the material world. So we have to understand, we have to transcend above the material world, and then we can see that really the true enjoyer is the super soul, and that we are supposed to serve him. So, and that's what this last analogy is talking about. Just as pouring water over the root of a tree energizes the trunk, branches, and twigs, similarly, by offering worship, worship is the water that we are pouring at the root of the tree and offering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that brings satisfaction to us, and it gives pleasure to the Lord. Okay. So before we go on the next one, I have some charts, but let me see. I'm not going to go through all of them. Obviously, they're similar. So uh, let's see. Okay, so if we have there's some takeaways from this. Uh, Key takeaways are that that we have to understand that we are the observer. Physical pain, illness, or anxiety belong. Physical pain, anxiety. Okay, now we can see it. Physical pain, illness, or anxiety belongs to the kshetra, the body, mind. Realizing you're the observing soul, kshetrajna brings instant spiritual detachment. So that's why it's important to understand. So it's basically saying the same thing. Uh, the other thing is that academic knowledge is we need that in the material world to make a living, but it means nothing. It's not true knowledge. The true knowledge is understanding the spiritual knowledge and a devotion to the Supreme. Then the Super Soul is accompanying us in every lifetime, and he is waiting for us to turn our attention back to him. And we know that analogy of two birds. Uh, One bird is a watch is watching, well, and the witness, while the other bird uh, is constantly going about doing various activities and so on. So the super soul is eagerly waiting for us, and he has given us various methods of turning to him. It is up to us to do it. So let's uh, go on to the next one. We'll go on to the three modes of material nature. Okay, I'll start again. In chapter 14, Krishna introduces a very interesting model known as the three modes of material nature. These three qualities permeate everything we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Our lifestyle, attitude, and behaviors also fall under these modes. Through closer analysis, we can perceive how people are functioning in this world with a mistaken belief of free will, when in actuality they're impelled to act according to these influences. Therefore, unless one is able to transcend these modes of nature, they act to perpetually trap one in this material world. So it's basically saying that the living entities are all uh, they all think they are the doers, and they are not really the doers. They are the victims of this the material nature, the three modes of material nature, and as such, the the three modes of material nature they trap they trap the individual in the material world, and he is constantly going through its through the birth and death cycles, perpetually doing that, unless you get out of this trap. Okay. So the trap is an acronym, and T is for three modes, R is for race for prominence, actions, A is actions in the modes, and pure is pure life. So three modes, race for prominence. So that's why we are trying very hard to lord it over the material nature, and then we are controlled by the actions of modes in the modes. And once we transcend that, then we have a chance of getting to a pure life. Okay. All right. Let's see. Pastor Mataji, you want to start again with this T, three modes?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. T. Three modes, verses 1 to 9. Mode is a translation of the Sanskrit word guna, which literally means thread or rope. The three modes influence a person's character, behavior, approach to life. For example, if goodness, sattva, predominates, one will aspire for and generally achieve long term happiness even if one experiences temporary inconveniences. The person overtaken by passion, rajas, frantically seeks immediate short term gain and doesn't expect much more out of life. On the other hand, the person dominated by ignorance, tamas, rarely achieves happiness at all. In this way, the material world is populated by living entities in different conditions of life. So, here in this verse, 10 verses, uh, Krishna is talking about the modes of material nature. Actually, we are all, whenever we born in this material world, we entangled with these three modes of material nature. So all the living entities are entangled by these three modes of material nature. So our body is entangled as well as our soul. So His Grace Prangavinda Prabhuji was explaining one day that the soul is covered by this material nature too. It's covered. There is a covering on the soul. Soul is pure, eternal, but there is a covering of these three modes of material nature on the soul. So that's why soul is thinking he is doing it. He or she is doing it. So, and these three modes are Satyaguna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. So, here Prabhupada explained in his purport that this goodness, when it's always important to have a devotee or a practitioner to predominates in his characters the goodness. So, goodness is always better than passion and ignorance. And we read about these three chains: gold chain, silver chain, and what is another one, Prabhuji? Iron chain?
Bronze chain, iron chain,
Yeah. So, gold chain is Sattva-guna, the silver chain is Rajas, and then iron chain is Tamas. So we are all bound by this three modes of material nature, those chains in this jail. We are thinking we are very happy. So Shubhavilas Prabhuji in one of his class, he was showing that one person in his chair, he's laughing a lot, and then but he's bound by the chains. So we are thinking we are very happy in this material world. We have big house, we have family, we have money, we have job, etc. But these are all temporary. And when I think that, oh, I want to gain this, I want to get more money, I want this position, that means I'm in the mode of passion. And mode of ignorance is far worst, as we know, because mode of ignorance is totally taking us from Krishna. So, but mode of ignorance also important, because without mode of ignorance we cannot sleep at the night. So when we are sleeping, that time we are in the mode of ignorance, but that's also important. So in the morning time, that's why we do morning sadhana, morning japa, morning puja, with the deities, taking getting association with the devotees, with the morning classes, because that time is the actually mode of goodness predominates. And then afternoon, it's mode of passion when we go to work, and then night time actually mode of ignorance predominates. So but a devotee can make the whole day mode of goodness, and by their practice and devotional service. And also there is above mode of goodness, there is Suddha Sattva, mode of pure goodness. So Srila Prabhupada is always in the mode of pure goodness, 24/7 thinking about Krishna. And once again in this paragraph it says, like, mode of goodness, it may not be, if someone is a mode of goodness, means they are always loyal, always truthful, they may have problem, inconvenience in their life, because mode of goodness people in this age of Kali is not won't be able to be very happy, like spiritually happy, because of the situation. But in the long term, it's very good. And there is also other examples of mode of goodness. A person who are very good, loyal, truthful, and does lot of charity, but they don't go to temple, or they don't believe much in God, but they are very wise, they are very pious. They are also in the mode of goodness, but unless that mode of goodness is helping someone to become Krishna consciousness, then there's no point. So whatever um, the mode we have, we should change that to our Suddha Satya. That is the goal. Even passion, ignorance is very bad. Ignorant people, they are usually atheist and does a lot of bad things. And passion is always hankering for money, name, fame, and goodness is they are comparatively better than mode of passion and mode of ignorance, but still it's bound by three modes of material nature to our consciousness. So therefore it's important to have the Shuddha Satya, but it's difficult, but with Guru's mercy, with Acharya's mercy, with practicing, we may get someday. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. I think you added everything there. So we'll go on to the next one. Ruby Mataji, you can read the R.
Sure, Prabhuji. Race for prominence, verse 10 to 13. The modes compete with one another for supremacy within an individual. In the cycle of single day, different modes may achieve prominence at different times. In general, goodness clarifies and pacifies the individual since it motivates joy, wisdom, altruism, and kindness. Passion is said to confuse and provoke the individual, invoking qualities of greed, anger, and frustration. Ignorance is said to obscure and impede one's life, often resulting in oversleep, indifference, laziness, and inertia. So here it mentions like the three modes always they are within us, and always they are competing with each other for their supremacy, for proving their supremacy. So this is we need to recognize it. What is the symptom going on? We are in which mode, so that means after recognizing we can do accordingly, like through bhakti we can be always in we can try to be always in mode of goodness. So means the three modes like mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance, they are always there, but which one is conquering means that depends on us. If we are practicing bhakti properly, then more time we will be in the mode of goodness. And it is only possible through the through Krishna consciousness. Like if we are always in engaged in devotional service, then it can be possible. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Thank you, Mataji. That's exactly right. Because by bhakti, then we can, it's talking here about how passion is in the mode of uh, passion, it leads to greed, anger, and frustration. So those who are in Krishna consciousness, well, gradually they overcome this. They overcome the anger and frustration. We would all seen changes in our own behavior over the years, ever since we started getting gotten into Krishna consciousness. And certainly, uh, none of us can be called lazy. We don't oversleep. We are constantly very busy practicing all the different things that we have to do during the day. So that's correct. Okay, so I'll Shubhal Prabhu, you want to read this? Actions in the mode.
Sorry, Prabhu, which one, Prabhu? Yeah.
Yeah, the A right here.
Which one, Prabhi? R?
Yeah, the third one, the A.
AA, right? Okay. Actions in the modes, verses 14 to 18. Reincarnation is the process by which a soul receives a new material body on the basis of activities performed in the present body. Our activities are a result of the decisions we make, and our decisions are ultimately based on the modes which we are being influenced by. Thus, Krishna predicts the future destination of an individual based on the predominant mode in their
Okay.
life.
Yeah.
In short, those situated in the goodness go upward to the higher planets. Passion, those in passion live in the earthly planets, and those in the ignorance go to the hellish worlds. Krishna Prabhuji, so here wonderfully explaining how the modes influence us in various modes, right? If we are in Sattva Guna, we go to the higher planets, Rajoguna, in the earthly planets, and Tamoguna, we go to the lower planets. But when we are in Krishna consciousness, it is Suddha Sattva. It is all beyond these three modes. So for a devotee, he doesn't need to worry about these modes, because devotee, whatever he does, he does it for Krishna, not for himself. But of course, just calling us devotee doesn't, but we have to selflessly do it for the sake of Lord Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. Okay, I'll read the last one. Pure life, verses 19 to 27. Through these various descriptions, we can approximate what combination of the modes we are personally affected by. The chapter concludes by explaining the ideal state that ensures a successful human life and afterlife. Although goodness is said to be the most progressive of the three, it still implicates one in the law of karma. To become completely free of karmic reactions, one must transcend even the mode of goodness and become situated on the spiritual platform. This is only possible by engaging in bhakti yoga with unflinching determination, taking inspiration and support from those who have already transcended the three modes. Krishna explains the character of such perfected transcendentalists who enjoy nectar even in this life. So, this is saying everything that we all said already in the previous paragraphs. So, uh, uh, for one thing, that depending on which mode you're in, it will your next life will depend on that. And then the mode of goodness is good, but it's not good, it's still not enough in terms of overcoming this cycle of birth and death. You'll have a good life again, but it still it's a binding. It as it says here, it still implicates one in the law of karma. We are still bound by a gold chain. So whether it's a gold chain, silver chain, or iron chain, it's still a bind. So to become free from all this, we have to go above the mode of goodness into the Shuddha, Shuddha Tattva. And the way to get out of this through the Bhakti Yoga and, uh, and taking support, inspiration, and support uh, from a bona fide guru who has transcended all these three modes. That's where the importance of a spiritual master. Okay, okay, done with this. All right, so I will, let's see. Okay, I have this brief chart here, but we know all this. So I'll just go through it quickly, and then we can go on to the quiz. Uh, so the mode is Sattva Guna, goodness. Uh, Characteristics are pure, illuminating, free from disease. Then binding mechanism is attachment to happiness and knowledge. and the result is elevation to heavenly planets. Result at death. Then passion, the intense longings, unlimited desires, uh, then attachment to fruitive work and material gain. Then, uh, then the result at death is rebirth among humans engaged in work. So more karma and more fruitive work. Tamas, ignorance, is characteristic is delusion, darkness, laziness, sleep, then binding mechanisms, attachment to foolishness, uh, indolence, and sleep, and then rebirth in lower species or hellish realm. So we have gone through all this. Okay. So is Rama Prabhu here?
No, Prabhuji, actually, we came for their supply. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Okay, he's not available. He'd be interested. I wanted him to take part in the quiz. Okay.
Oh, okay, sorry, Prabhuji.
All right, then
Yes.
we'll have to do it. Okay, this is a ISKCON quiz taken from an ISKCON source. So we can start with this. Uh, I'll read it and then you can answer it. Three of you. Even for one who takes to devotional service,
Can you
the
share,
prin-
Prabhu? Cannot see.
you cannot say.
I don't see. I'm seeing the rays prominent that one.
You are still sharing the PDF, Prabhuji.
Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, okay. Share.